Today on Sail Away.
I saw millions of fish, little tiny fish.
Today we're on Walker's Key and we're going to be doing a shark dive.
I see lots of sharks down there.
I'm afraid because I know somebody's going to get hurt.
Oh, that's scary.
Well, there's like a million sharks down there.
So I was just amazed how I actually got to touch a shark. I reached out for one and it turned around and like went rawr.
What's up, y'all? Now, what's it gonna be? Another fun day, sailing away with me and Aubrey.
Now what we're going to do is show you what it's like in the Caribbean, chilling with Island Expedition.
Now what we got here is our own little show, talking about the day and sailing away. And now we're gonna let the TV people take it away, and we'll give you an update at the end of the day. Talking about updates, we had been at sea for a month. Here's a progress report.
Okay, sailing. Remember our first sailing lesson?
When you want to put up the sail, you want to be against the wind. When you're going like this, blowing, it makes this way makes the paper go that way. Same thing with the boat.
We had no clue what Dragan was talking about.
And there was this pathetic moment.
Dragan!
Oh!
Well, now we know what we're doing.
We could practically teach a class on sailing.
Well, not quite. Not this
And
way.
now you're going to go towards that island, straight for that island. Okay, no, the other way, the other way, the other way.
Trick of steering the boat is you have to keep it on course. Everyone depends on you to get them safely through your shift. Some of the dangers is you sort of have to look ahead because there could be coral heads right in front of you that you didn't notice if you're just staring down at the compass.
Something else we had gotten used to was doing our schoolwork on the boats.
But it still wasn't easy.
When the boat is rocking and I try to write, it seems like the pen's moving by itself because it just goes anywhere it wants to. Reading on the boat, I guess, is sort of like reading in a car. Some people get really sick and they get motion sickness.
Who can complain about being in the Bahamas doing your schoolwork rather than cooped up in some classroom without windows, We would have gotten an A on schoolwork.
But when it came to cleaning, a big fat F.
On the boat, we're supposed to be clean and organized.
Let's see, Alex. Look at the Buridon on the day we arrived in Nassau, and look at it after just 1 month.
Man, what a mess.
Not everybody on this boat keeps everything organized. Everybody just throws stuff wherever.
It's kind of easy to lose stuff when you have 5 people in a really small room.
It's very hard to ask people to keep this boat in shape.
You should talk, Calvin.
We knew how to keep our boat clean. The key to a clean cabin is a good crew and a trosso.
I tell them, please clean the mess after you, because I'm not Mr. Cleaner or something.
Man, that sounds just like my mom.
I hope my mom's not watching, but something we were really good at is cleaning the dishes.
Carlos even found his own way of doing the dishes.
As for the laundry, well...
I haven't done laundry yet. I washed one of my shirts because it was just so disgusting that, it was not wearable.
Well, I haven't done my laundry yet because I can't find any of my shirts or anything.
You don't do laundry on the boat. You just wait and you wear dirty clothes. It's expedition.
It's expedition, okay? Which meant you never took a shower.
You bathe whenever you can. Whenever you get to land and there's a freshwater hose or something, you wash there.
Last one was in Highburn Key about 3 weeks ago, so I'm pretty ranky.
Nassau.
Look at my hair.
Nassau a month ago. That's my last shower.
You.
Me? What about you?
I smell good. Clean.
Yeah, right.
Now sleeping, that's something we had totally gotten down.
It's not any trick to getting sleep on the boat to me because if you're sleepy, you'll go to sleep anywhere.
Just look at the kids on the Buridon.
Yeah, but the best was sleeping on deck. You have the stars, you have the wind blowing in your face, the boat kind of rocks you to sleep.
On the cooking front, it was still hit or miss. We had our good days.
This is so good. Thank you, Aubrey. 29-inch.
And we had our bad days, no matter how hard we tried.
she said 1 1/4 of vegetable oil, but it was supposed to be 1 1/4 of water, and it messed up the whole cake.
Oh my God! You ruined it!
Don't even blame it on me. Don't even blame it on me.
You put the oil in there.
You told me
You didn't reread the box. Is this supposed to do this? Okay, we just stick this in the oven. The moments of truth. Okay, flip it. And it's burnt. Now we're gonna take our frosting. Okay, another problem, our frosting is melting. Yeah, let's scrape off the burnish. There we go. It looks so much better now. It tastes so good.
In the end, the cake turned out pretty good.
Well, I'm not sure I'd say that.
Hey, they tried hard. You know, Alex and Petra never thought they'd be friends.
When I first saw Alex, I was like, oh no, is she gonna be one of those snobby, stuck-up kids?
I was just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna be stuck with this hyper chick.
The truth is, a month ago, we were all total strangers.
Hey, I'm Gia.
I'm Aubrey.
Oh, look at us back then.
I forgot how much you look like a geek.
What?
Just kidding. Truth is, since then, we'd become a real family.
Now that's progress. It would take a whole day to sail to Walker's Key, the home of our next adventure. Shark diving.
If I recall, Gio, you weren't in a rush to meet the sharks.
Okay, I have to admit the thought of meeting a shark face to face was a little scary.
Dun 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 dun.
Hey, big man, if you remember, we did a few more things before we introduced ourselves to the sharks.
Oh yeah, we ran into those local conch fishermen.
I had never seen so much conch in my life.
They had billions and billions of conchs.
On their boat were mountains and mountains of conch. It was just like insane.
They had a lot of conch.
The head of the operation was Captain Jim Wells.
He goes out there for 2 months, twice a year, to collect as much conch as he can to sell back in Nassau.
The day we visited, there was over 14,000 pounds on the boat.
It's like everybody has a job. One is to crack the conch. 2 other people take it out. And 2 ladies just like cut it and slice it up. And they make it look so easy, but it's so hard.
It took like total time, I'd say about 30 seconds. It took me like 5 minutes to clean one properly. It's just not fair.
Do you remember the first time we tried to clean conch?
I remember thinking it was disgusting.
Look at us, we were horrible at it, and it took forever.
Captain Jim showed us how to detach the conch from its shell in like 2 seconds. I can't believe we ate this.
Finger licking good.
Then we were off to go swimming in Safety Harbor, which is also known as Hurricane Hole.
A hurricane hole is a protective cove where boats can go to escape a storm.
It was really cool because the pathway to the harbor was so narrow it created a strong current that sucked you into this really deep hole filled with fish.
I saw millions of fish, little tiny fish. As soon as I would reach for them, they would all separate and go into every which direction.
They're this kind of fish where when one makes a move, they all make the moves. They all go like in clumps. Just, it's full, like packed full. It's really cool.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Next adventure, we were going face to face with sharks.
We were so psyched to go shark diving the day we landed on Walker's Key.
First, we met the dive master, Gary Atkinson, and his daughter, Brittany.
They live with dogs, guinea pigs, rabbits, and a bunch of birds.
I'm Brittany.
Brittany. I've lived here for 10 years. I'm 14 years old, and I've been doing homeschooling ever since I've moved here because there are no kids here my age, so that way we don't have a school. Being homeschooled, I can have school in the afternoon, which means that I can go diving in the morning on the shark dive, and it's fantastic.
Brittany's 14, just like us, but she's so different than any other girl we'd ever met.
Let's see. She lives on an island of 35 people. She's been shark diving since she was 5 years old, and she already has a job.
Pet stores in the United States and fishermen in the Bahamas send her sick or injured birds, and she nurses them back to health.
Just shows you don't have to be an adult to make a difference.
What happened to him?
Well, someone stole him from his home and sold him to a pet store, and forgave him to us. Aww.
I thought the sharks were gonna attack, not the birds.
We put her back in the cage because she's freaking out.
He wasn't the only one freaking out. I think we all were.
Today we're on Walker's Key and we're going to be doing a shark dive with a professional dive master on a dive boat.
We're supposed to have like 100 sharks around us, and we're gonna feed them.
I'm worried that maybe one of the sharks will go off and do something he's not supposed to, like try to attack.
I'm afraid because I know somebody's gonna get hurt, and I'm hoping it's not me.
If a shark bit off my arm, I guess I'd have to go to the hospital.
So, you know, everybody's kind of antsy, and especially me. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Because, like, if they don't get enough chum, then, I don't know, maybe I'll look appetizing.
In case you don't know, chum is another name for shark food.
Yeah, it's a frozen block of chopped up fish guts, intestines, eyeballs.
All right already. Gary made us put on wetsuits so we wouldn't look like chum. Let me tell you, not a comforting thought.
We know that the color white represents a fish belly or a struggling animal. Many of the kids are fair-skinned, so we want to put them in a dive suit that covers that fair skin.
Yeah. Anyway, the moment of truth had finally come.
It was time to walk the plank. I mean, get into the boat.
Like always, before we got to do something fun, we had to listen to a lecture.
We're going to get everybody in here. What you're going to do today, guys, is something you're going to talk about the rest of your life, I hope.
Yeah, if we live through it.
I bet every one of you here has probably already got a preconceived idea of what shark behavior is like. We all saw Jaws probably, you know, so we already have that image, right? And the truth of the matter is, the reason why we do what we do, to show people that they're not the mindless eating machine that people have made them out to be. We've got some sharks down there that have known us now for 9 and 10 years. They rub up against us like our dogs do when we come home from work. Happy to see us.
Sure, they're happy to see us. We're dinner.
They're all unique individuals. They all have their own personality. If these sharks come very close to you, please don't be afraid of that. Reach out and touch them. Interact with them. They're very comfortable with your presence.
I'm glad the sharks were comfortable with all of this.
As for us shark bait, it was too late to turn back. We were going shark diving. We only had 15 minutes before we were gonna meet the man-eaters.
Man-eaters?
Yeah, there are about 100 shark attacks each year.
100 attacks are nothing compared to the 100 million sharks people kill each year.
Gary did try and explain that we had nothing to worry about.
Sharks eat sick, wounded, unhealthy things. That's their role in the ocean. Guess why sharks don't eat you then? Healthy. Because you're healthy. Besides that, you taste funky. You don't taste good. You swim like a healthy animal out here, they could care less about you. If you thrash around and make a lot of racket in the water, they're going to come up and check you out because you look like you're sick and wounded. You know,
that all sounded good in theory, but then we saw these dark forms under the water. Sharks.
Oh, I see sharks down there. I see lots of sharks down there. Oh, that's scary.
The time had come to lower the chum into the water. And then it was our turn.
I had
never seen so many sharks in my entire life.
There's like a million sharks down there. And like they're all like eating the fish. It's the coolest thing.
There's a lot of sharks in there, like scary.
While the sharks were attacking the chumsicle, our underwater cameraman was waiting for us to make our move.
The kids were very tentative when we got in. Sharks were pretty aggressive, about 15 feet below them, and the kids have the ability to get down there, but they were just a little scared, I'd say.
Scared is right. The only one who had enough guts to go down was Newman.
Guts? I'd say no brains.
I couldn't have imagined it being that many sharks. It was the amount of sharks. It was so amazing. You know, you could look everywhere and anywhere, and they were above and below, and just all around.
The rest of us were a little slower making friends with the sharks.
As soon as I got in the water, I was thinking, oh man, they're gonna come up and try to eat me, blah, blah, blah. And I was just all freaked out.
When I got in, I really didn't want to dive down because I was sort of nervous that I wouldn't be able to come back out for air.
I was a little nervous getting in, but I said, you know, this is really cool. So I jumped in, and there were sharks everywhere. They were all like fighting and stuff over the fish at the bottom.
A shark swam between my leg, and at first I thought he would have stopped, and I just take a bite out of my leg, and then after I saw he just went straight past under my leg, I was like, thank you, Lord.
And it was kind of spooky having all these sharks around you while they were feeding and you right in the middle of it.
Just as we started to feel adventurous, a shark bit off the last piece of chumsicle. We had to get out of the water fast.
All the sharks fight over the last bite, and you don't want to get in the way.
It's called shark rodeo, and they like fight more and more and more. Sometimes they can hurt you if they pull you over or whatever.
Once we were safely out of the water and back on the boat, Gary told us about tagging his latest research participant.
The one I tagged was a big female with a lot of bite marks on her.
Ooh, that had to hurt.
No, it's okay. Tagging doesn't hurt him.
The reason I tagged her today is that I know that 8 to 9 months from now, she's going to be full of pups. And we're going to follow her. We're going to put a little transmitter on her. We're going to follow that particular shark and find out where exactly she's going to give birth to those pups.
That seems a little personal.
Yeah, maybe. But scientists don't know much about a shark's first year of life. This research will help.
Something we do know is that sharks can go through 20,000 teeth in their lifetime. When one falls out, another grows back in its place.
We realized the sharks weren't going to sharpen their teeth on us. So, after the second chumsicle was dropped in, we all loosened up and had fun.
Touch 3 sharks already, and like the first one I only got to touch on the top of the dorsal fin, and then on the second 2 they like swam by me and I got to like rub their whole body across. It was so cool.
Down there I touched like a million sharks. It was so cool. Their bodies feel like silk.
So I was just amazed on how smooth it was and how I actually got to touch a shark. They were coming up to the surface, and I reached out for one, and it turned around and like it was going to eat me or whatever.
I followed one particular shark around because I wanted to touch it. I dove down and it started swimming towards me, so I put my hand out and it came closer, so I snatched it back in.
There's so many of them, and it's so scary and so exhilarating at the same time. Their adrenaline's just like pumping, and they're right there. They're just powerful animals, and they're right like within a foot from you, you know, or even touching you. I mean, it's just, I'm speechless. I don't know.
After a while, they really started to get comfortable with the sharks, and they were just going down there, and they're actually trying to touch the sharks, which you don't ever see kids trying to do. These are kids that just come from, you know, mainland USA, and it was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable, all right. I mean, how many people can say they've touched a shark?
And live to tell about it.
They're not mean killing machines like people think they are.
The one thing I realized the most was how intelligent they were. I didn't realize that they were that smart.
I've had a complete shift in 15 minutes from thinking that sharks were evil to thinking sharks were actually pretty nice.
Looking back, the sharks were pretty nice.
Today was one of those days that made us realize how lucky we were to be on this expedition.
Yeah, how much better could it get?
Next time on Sail Away.
I think the reason why everybody is so excited about the dolphins is because they're seeing them for the first time.
I'll be so excited and hyper and everything.
There it is! That is a big one, my friend.
It's the most incredible thing, and it was like looking at me.
I was just so tempted to just touch him.
That's a whole different thing with being right there with them.